What's up, guys? My name is Robbie. I go by the name Closing Dime. I'm a profitable sports bettor in Massachusetts. Today, I want to talk about the comparisons between the stock market and sports betting. Now, a lot of people think that sports betting is just gambling, but if you know what you're doing, you can completely take the risk out of it. So, let's compare the pros and cons of sports betting and the stock market. First, let's talk about how much I've made sports betting in 1 year. Now, I originally started with a $2,000 bankroll or $2,000 investment. And in less than 12 months, I've turned that $2,000 into $32,000 bankroll. So I've profited over $30,000 in the last year. If I were to put that in the stock market, $2,000 investment, and say we made 5% 1 year, I would only made $50. So at the end of the year, if I put $2,000 in the stock market, I'd have $2,050. Instead, I invested it in the sports betting markets. I started with $2,000 and now I have $32,000. So huge difference there. Let's talk about how sports betting compounds extremely quickly and your growth can be substantial. Now, the goal of being a profitable sports bettor is to have a decent ROI and then place as many bets as possible. So right here is a tracker and OddsJam. I have about a 7% ROI. So that means every $100 I bet, I return a $7 profit. People don't realize how sports betting ROIs work. They assume if I have a 7% ROI, I could make that same amount of money in the stock market, but that's not how it works at all. Sports betting ROIs compound your profits so quickly. So I started with a $2,000 bankroll. If I bet that whole $2,000 in 1 day, I'm making 7% on that $2,000. And then next day, I have a little more than $2,000. I can bet the entire bankroll again and make another 7%. So this compounds extremely quickly. If I were to just put that $2,000 in the stock market and make 7%, that's over the course of a year. I can make 7% on every dollar every day. Now, to prove that also is this number right here. This is my total stake. This is how much I've bet in the past year. Like I said, I only started with a $2,000 bankroll. So for me to be able to put out over $400,000 in bets is pretty incredible. Now, if this is basically how I look at it. I basically have invested $422,000 into a market that returns 7%. If I can do that every year, I'll grow incredibly quick. Now let's talk about the risk in sports betting versus the risk in stock markets. Now in sports betting, there's almost no risk on a month-to-month basis. There is risk day to day, but long term, you are guaranteed to make money. If you are betting with a mathematical edge, no matter what, if you just bet enough times, you will realize that true number. This could take 1 to 2,000 bets to hit that true percentage, but you will get there. Basically, if you're flipping a coin and you have a 51% chance of winning, if you flip that coin 100 times, you could end up losing. But if you flip that coin 1,000 times, you're guaranteed to have won more heads than tails. Now, to prove that sports betting has rarely small risks if you're doing it correctly, here is my week by week profit. So this is keeping track of like 40 weeks here. And I've only had 1, 2, 3, 4 down weeks and like I said 35 up weeks. I've never had a losing month. You can look back any one of these months. I'm profitable every single month I've been betting. Um, so the risk is very low, and I have the numbers to back that. Let's talk about risk in the stock market. Now, long term, the stock market has historically been a very safe investment, but you can have down years. Now, we don't know where the future of the stock market is going to take us, and that's nothing we can even predict. But when it comes to sports betting, I can predict my ROI, and I know nothing's just going to crash out of the blue. Here's a website I've used to calculate my ROI on the year. Like I said, I started with a $2,000 investment, so I put that in, and at the end of the year, I returned $32,000 for a $30,000 profit. This ROI is a 1,500% ROI in 1 year. Like I said, if I put $2,000 in the stock market, I'd be lucky to make 5 to 7%. So 15,000 compared to 5 to 7% is actually insane. Here's another compound interest calculator that I wanted to take a look at what my $2,000 would do in the stock market over a long course of time. So I did a $2,000 initial deposit, no contributions. I'm doing 50 years of growth at a 5% return annually. Now, my $2,000 would turn into about a $20,000 profit in 50 years. The one advantage that the stock market has over the sports betting market is that the stock market is completely passive income. You put your money in there and you can forget about it and you're going to slowly grow. But with sports betting, you do need to put some time into it. I probably put 2 to 3 hours a day looking for sports bets to make. I enjoy it though. So for me, I don't look at it as like a side hustle. It's something I enjoy and I'm making a lot of money doing it. So that's the one downside. You do have to put a little work in, but I think it's fun. Now I'm a massive sports fan and I do have a lot of knowledge about sports, but I completely remove my opinion when I'm sports betting to make money. For example, here we have Brentford FC versus West Ham United. Now I've never watched any of these teams play, but there is value on Brentford FC. Basically, I'm shopping lines and finding good value. So right here we have FanDuel plus 128 odds compared to the rest of the market is barely over 100 odds. The website I use is called OddsJam, and this is flagging this to be a 3.3% expected value play. So that means if I bet $100 on this long term, I'm expected to make $3.3. If you're interested in signing up for OddsJam, I'll put the link below. There is a 7-day free trial, so you can test it out. I also have a link. If you use code ClosingDime, you'll get 35% off your first month. Okay, quick recap here. So when it comes to how much profit you can make, sports betting is 100% the way to go. Like I said, if I was making a 5% ROI in the stock market, it would take me 55 to 60 years to make what I did sports betting in 1 year. We also talked about risk and how the sports betting market is actually way less risky than the stock market. You'll never have a down year sports betting if you're putting enough volume out. Meanwhile, with the stock market, you can have a down year too. The one downside is that you have to put a little work in. This isn't passive income, but it's something that I enjoy doing. It only takes up an hour or two of my day. I love doing it. The community is awesome. If you're interested in joining OddsJam, which is the website where I find almost all of my plays from, and I can guarantee you'll make profits if you use this website. The link is below. You can use my code ClosingDime at checkout for 35% off. And when you go on their website, you can also sign up for a 7-day free trial. Like I said, the opportunity there is with sports betting is just insane. I started with $2,000. Just 1 year in, I'm over $32,000. I'm looking to buy a piece of land to build my next house on. That's how incredible sports betting can be. If I just put that money in the stock market, I would have basically no more money than I did last year. So if you're still not sure about signing up for OddsJam or trying to be profitable sports betting, you can join my Discord. That's in the link below. It's free. There's probably close to 100 of us in this Discord now, and most of us are all profitable sports bettors. We can tell you how we've experienced it, and everyone can tell you their stories about how they made money. But thanks for watching my video. Hope you guys liked it. Please subscribe. Let's go make some money.